I'm Kevin Eyres. I'm the Managing Director for LinkedIn Europe. LinkedIn has had incredible growth over the last year. Right now we're averaging about one member every 2 seconds that are joining the network. And as of today in September, we've got 27 million members worldwide. Over 6.5 million members of those are actually in Europe. We see ourselves continuing to grow because we're focused purely on the professional member. And if we look at our overall market for that, there's about 300 million professionals worldwide. And within the next 5 years, then LinkedIn has the plans to have at least 50% of those on LinkedIn, actively engaged, exchanging information and ideas, and making themselves more productive. LinkedIn has established several really innovative partners in the publishing sector. CNBC is one of the latest ones. CIO Magazine, Business Week, New York Times, and there's others. And for us, it's really about how can we give and provide better content and better information. And that's one of the things that these publishers give to us. The other thing is it's about how can we start to engage better with our members, and our members can engage with each other and with the publishers, so we have more of a dialogue. And that's what we're all trying to create together, is the community where its ideas and information exchange happen very freely. Within LinkedIn, we have, we're pursuing partnerships. The ones we have in the U.S. are representative of what we're looking at doing in the U.K. and throughout Europe. So you'll see other partnerships coming along this way fairly soon as well. So when we speak to the Online Publishing Summit, then what we're going to be talking about is how LinkedIn and publishers can really come together to form these communities, because it's really about the engagement between the members and with the publisher. So we're going to start to expand about how LinkedIn can do that through facilitation of groups, through questions and answers, and we'll leave more of that for the summit itself. But that's a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. At the AOP Summit, we actually have a good cross section of sites, publishers, and brands. And what we're going to be talking about is how we can all engage together in communities and with more of the interaction that you can gain from community sites. The business models between social networks and professional networks are very different. So if we look at it, there's really not a one-size-fits-all. We see social networks tend to rely primarily just on advertising, and the rates that they get are fairly low just based on the audience that they have. With professional networks like LinkedIn, we've got a very diverse business model where we have revenue coming in from 4 different areas, one of which is advertising, which we tend to command very high rates because of the particular audience and the targeting that we have. But because we're professional and we can add a lot of value for career enhancements and identifying other professionals, it opens up many different revenue streams that don't really exist with normal social networks. User engagement is something that we're pursuing very actively at LinkedIn, because that's really the heart of an online community or network as well. So for us, it's more of how can we better, how can we make professionals more productive by idea and information exchange. Some of the things that we've just enabled with our groups functionality will allow people to, in a more closed forum and a more focused and relevant forum, like it could be around finance, they can start to ask very poignant questions and know that it's just within a closed community. So those are some of the things that we're doing. It's also with the relationships that we have with the publishers and how you can make news more relevant to you, or how you can understand how the news stories that are happening are closer to your network, or how you're connected to the stories. So that's all part of engagements. It's also the different questions and answers that happen on the site. And then you'll start to see more things around conferences and the likes as well coming up. So we definitely see engagement as a very critical part in our overall strategy, and it's all bound down to how can we add value to the professional. Media and technology are 2 areas that we've had initial growth in, but those are also around, they're particularly the early adopters. We actually see a lot of growth in the finance sector, in education, and publishing. So we cover over 170 different industries today, and that list is growing, but it really is about people who are using LinkedIn are people who want to reach just beyond their immediate connections, and how can they gain more information and value to make themselves more productive and enhance their careers. So we're seeing growth really amongst all the different communities or sectors, finance being one, mainly because of a lot of the economic challenges that we see today. We see communities being a very integral part of publishers and the future of publishers, because this is the first time when publishers can start to have a two-way dialogue with their readers, and also the readers can start to have a conversation amongst themselves. And so we feel very strongly that communities are going to be part of the publisher's future, because it is all about that engagement and information that passes, that really didn't exist in the Web 1.0 world and doesn't exist at all in the print world. I think the digital sector is definitely going to be impacted by the economic times it is today already. And I think this is really the time where people are going to focus much more carefully on their core businesses that they have. And it's also going to be the time where we start to see the separation of the businesses that are really adding value, that have good economic, a good economic foundation, and that they also have a real business model behind them. And part of that is about, how can you better engage with the members and what value that the members or the users of these different technologies have. And it's really going to be a separation between those who really have the sound business models and the membership in order to drive their growth, and those that are just really more of the fads and interesting, but not really worthy of moving forward.